how important would you say monitoring is in a professional level mix?
Oh man, I take flack for this.
Okay.
I don't really care too much about monitoring.
Interesting. How come?
Because it doesn't matter what the speaker's telling you. What matters is what good music sounds like on the speaker. Okay, so I could have a pair of $2,000 monitors that are amazing, but if my room sounds like not good stuff, then those amazing monitors will give me not good stuff, because what you're hearing isn't just the speaker, it's always the room, right? So most people that I'm teaching are in a bedroom or a basement, the room does not sound good, so spending money on monitoring won't really help them.
I suppose maybe to further clarify my question, when I'm speaking about monitoring, I'm also thinking about the room as well.
Okay.
I started off mixing in a bedroom. Actually, technically, I started off mixing in a basement, a concrete basement, 4 parallel walls. It was the worst. But what I did to kind of combat that was put up a couple egg carton foam things at the first reflection points. I was like 17. I found out what the first reflection points were. I was so stoked.
Yes,
I'm gonna acoustic treat this room, right?
Yeah,
so I put something up on the walls. It helped a little bit, but what really helped was bouncing it down, listening to it on my iPhone, in the car, on my computer speakers, on the bus, on the way to school or work or wherever I was doing when I was 17, you know, like things like that. How important is that process to a professional level mix to you?
Yeah, so I mean, great point. There's so many things that you could do to make your listening environment better. And I know I have friends that are smarter than me, and they fight me on this, like, Graham, you're not giving enough credit to acoustic treatment or good monitoring. And it's not that I'm downplaying those things. This room is built to, we got great monitors. It's treated so it's not super live in here. There's a reason why professional studios are built out like this. What I see, though, are people obsess in the home studio about, I got to get lots of acoustic treatment, I got to get nice monitors. And the problem is none of that will help you if you don't know how to mix. And if you don't realize that you could get it to sound great in that room, but no one in the world will hear it in your room. Unless you invite the world into your bedroom, and that's the only place that you get to let them hear the music. It doesn't matter how cool it sounds in your room. What matters is, are you hearing the mix appropriately to be able to get it to sound good everywhere else? And that's why either trying it out on like earbuds, listening to it really quiet, because when you crank it up, that changes how you hear it too, because your ears hype the bass and the top end. Listening to it in the car. But reference tracks, to me, like, your room could sound awesome in your mind, but if you bring in a reference and all of a sudden there's like no low end, you're like, this reference sounds horrible. They did a bad job with the low end. Or your room takes away the low.
More likely.
Yeah. And so
your mixes have a lot of it.
And your mixes have too much of it. So to me, reference mixes are the secret, because it doesn't really matter what speaker you have. You still know what a good mix should sound like.
If you're referencing a well-mixed song now, if you're referencing your favorite underground garage band, that, you know, if that's the style you're going for.
Yeah, if you like that, if you think that sounds good everywhere, and you kind of are the judge, you know, like people say, Graham, how do you pick a reference track? You pick whatever you want, whatever sounds good to you.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, this sounds good in my car, this sounds good on my phone. That's your reference point then. It's not going to have to sound the same, but I would rather you learn how to match reference tracks and learn what your speakers are giving you. Sometimes people are swapping out their monitors all the time. It's like that. You're never giving yourself a chance to learn. Like NS10s, for example, they sound horrible.
Yeah.
They're horrible speakers.
I'm surprised at how long they've lasted.
People
in
mix
studios
on those because they've gotten used to what they sound like. There's value to that. It doesn't matter how good the speaker sounds. It matters how do you know the speaker, and do you know the room that you're mixing in.
I think people undervalue that for sure. Like, I nerd out over acoustics, and I like the physics, but I think it's really undervalued, the importance of being familiar with your monitors. Like, regardless of how much they are or how fancy they are, it's knowing them, I think, is really important.
I agree.
Having reference tracks really helps that too, because if you know the way that song sounds, because you've heard it for 10 years in headphones and your brother's stereo and your grandparents' radio, you know, if you know what it sounds like, you know what it sounds like. So your ears and your brain are going to be able to pick that out regardless of what speakers you use, whatever monitoring you use. I run into this situation all the time when working for a concert. The venue sounds completely different every night. And so what do? I plug in my iPod and I play 6 songs that I know like the back of my hand.
There you go.
I know how the drums sound, I know how the kick drum sounds, I know how it thumps, I know where it thumps, and that tells me what I'm listening to, how the room reacts to what I know.
Yeah, and dude, I would tell everybody listening, like, if you only listen to music you're recording and mixing on your monitors, you are doing yourself a disservice. You need to listen to great music. Like spend an afternoon cleaning up your room and have really great music playing on your monitors.
Yeah.
A, it's fun, but B, you're going to get a chance to learn your speakers in that room. You're going to get a feel for what low end should sound like in your room, or top end, or what vocals do. And I find myself, there will be like a year stretch where I'm not listening to any real music in that room. I'm just listening to my projects that I'm working on for clients and me. I listen to my real music elsewhere, but that doesn't help me if I'm going to be making the music in that room. I got to know that room. So I've had to do that too. Like, no, I'm just going to put a playlist on like you do in a venue and clean up, or like whatever. Wipe down all that, take away my cereal bowls that are piling up, like clean out this place and listen to good music, and that'll help you tune into what's going on.